Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Miss. My name is Kevi Shafira. My name is 33210007 and I'm from class 33 6A07. Today I will presentation about the teaching student to cooperate. This is like a part 1 and then also there is a part 2 is about solving problem by logical argumentations. So let's get started. Teaching students to cooperate in the context of classroom management means teaching strategies that aim to increase students' ability to work together and collaborate in achieving learning goals. There are at least two different approaches to managing student interaction in the classroom, namely cooperation and competition. Definition of cooperation. Cooperation in teaching means students work together to achieve set goals. In this approach, students are organized into small groups and given assignments that require cooperation to complete. Cooperation allows students to share ideas, solve the problems, and improve communication skills. In this way, students can understand roles and responsibilities in the work team, improve problem solving abilities, and increase learning motivation. Cooperation can also help students understand that success is not just about individuals, but also teams and how they can work together to achieve larger goals. Next. Examples of cooperation in teaching teach students to cooperate are first is a jigsaw. In the jigsaw, students are divided into small groups who are responsible for mastering a part of the learning material and are able to teach that part to other members of their group. Second, cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is a learning strategy with a number of students as members of a small groups with a different ability levels. Now, completing their group assignments, each student member of the group must work together and help each other to understand the lesson material. Third is STAD, or stand for Student Achievement Divisions. The STAD method is a cooperative learning strategy where students work together in small groups consisting of the different levels of gender and different ethnic background. And the last is group investigation. In a group investigation, students work together in the small groups to solve assignment problems, thereby establishing mutual work and helping each other in solving problems. Competition. This is the definition of competition. Competition in teaching means that students are expected to compete with other students to achieve set goals. In this approach, students are expected to perform to the best of their own abilities and to be the best in the class. Competition can be used as motivation for students, but it can also give rise to feelings of rivalry and jealousy. In some cases, competition can help students improve their abilities, but it can also create unbalanced pressure and stress. These example competition methods in teaching students to cooperate are first, individual competition. In these methods, students are expected to compete individually to achieve set goals. For example, in the test, the student who gets the highest score is considered the winner. The second, group competition. In this method, several groups of students are expected to compete as a team to achieve set goals. For example, in the debate competition, several teams are expected to compete as a team to win the competition. And the last is tournament. In this method, students are expected to compete individually or in the teams in several rounds to achieve a set goal. For example, in a sports competition, several teams are expected to compete as a team in the several rounds to win the competition. Pros and the cons in a cooperation. The excess are first, improve social skills. The collaboration can improve students' ability to work together, communicate, and share ideas. Second, improve learning outcomes. Collaboration can improve student learning outcomes by enabling them to share knowledge and experiences. And the last is increases in motivation. Collaboration can increase student motivation by giving them the opportunity to contribute and share results. Like our dependence on others, collaboration can make students dependent to others to achieve goals, which can hinder their which can hinder their ability to think independently. And the last is lack of the time. Collaboration can take longer to complete assignments, which can hinder students' ability to complete other assignments. Pros and the cons in a competition. Excess are increases motivations. Competitions can increase students' motivation by giving them the opportunity to compete and achieve goals. And second, improve individual abilities. Competition can improve students' individual abilities by enabling them to think independently and achieve goals. The lack are first, increases stress. Competition can increase stress in students by making them compete firstly and achieve goals. Second, increases jealousy. Competition can increase the jealousy of students by making them complete firstly and achieve goals. In teaching students to cooperate, teacher must understand how to use these two approaches effectively to improve students' ability to cooperate and compete in a balanced manner. Teacher must understand how to implement teaching strategies that allow students to work together and compete in a balanced manner, as well as how to analyze student learning outcomes to find out which approach is more effective in improving student abilities. Part 2. Solving the problem using the logical argumentations. So there are three questions about the problem that we have to solving with the problem using the logical argumentation. I will explain the problem and also answering the solving it. First, the problem is Mr. Elizar repeatedly had a problem when leading a class discussion with his junior high school students. No matter how involved in the topic the students were, there were usually several students sitting in the back who would talk, shout out silly answers, and play with the object they had brought from home. So my solving are I highlight the problem, also I analyze and also I give the solution. So the problem faced by Mr. Elazar is a student who does not want to participate in the class discussions and prefer to play with objects brought from home or communicate irrelevant answers. Analysis of the problem indicates that the student may not understand the purpose of the class discussion or lacks sufficient motivation to participate. Maybe it's also because Mr. Elazar does not use effective teaching strategies to improve students' abilities in critical thinking and constructing arguments. So my solution is can be implemented is to use a teaching strategy using the competition method. For example, Mr. Elazar can use methods such as a group work or debate to improve students' ability to think critically and build arguments. Apart from that, Mr. Elazar can use teaching strategies that allow students to participate actively, such as giving assignments that require students to think critically and build arguments. Problem number 2 is that Zefano was one of the most provocation and disruptive students Miss Giandra had ever taught. Throughout class, he continuously talked to the girl and teased students sitting near him. He made inappropriate and sarcastic remarks in response to almost anything Miss Giandra said. When confronted by her, Zefano grinned charmingly and responded with exaggerated courtesy to the delight of the other students. My solution is the problem of Miss Grianda faces in Giovanni, who constantly talks to women and disturbs the students sitting around him. He also makes impolite and sarcastic comments in a response to almost everything Miss Giandra says. Analysis of the problem shows that Giovanni has no awareness of how his behavior affects other students over students. He may also have a tendency to be disruptive and make other students uncomfortable. My solution are speak with Stefano privately to discuss his behavior, his impact, and hopes for improvement, and also praise his acknowledge and reward positive behavior when Stefano participates in or refrains from disruptive actions. Problem number three is Miss Yeheskiela was concerned about the frequent teasing that had begun in her class. It reached the point where there was constant bickering among the students. They became so angry, began yelling, shouting, and shoving one another during class. So my solving for number three is the problem faced by Miss Yeskiela is a frequent stress in the classroom which reaches the point where students become very angry and start shouting, screaming, and stomping at each other. Analysis of the problem shows that stress that often occurs in the classroom may be caused by several factors such as an unbalanced classroom culture, a lack of awareness of how student behavior affects to other students, and a lack of effective classroom management strategies. Talk with the students involved individually to understand their perspective and the underlying reasons for their behavior. Then, encourage open communication and mutual respect between students. Teach them conflict resolution skills, active listening, empathy, and the importance of expressing feelings and concerns in a constructive way. Establish and communicate the clear rules and expectations regarding classroom behavior. Emphasize the importance of mutual respect, tolerance, and cooperation. Last is using cooperation methods to improve social skills, improve learning outcomes, and increases motivation. That's all from me, Miss. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry if I'm making too much mistaken. Thank you.